absolutely spawning up in the top right position. It is the red Protoss player. Give it up for ShaDoWn.
And up in the top right-hand side in the, bottom left-hand side in the red from Blazer Esports, he is Krystianer, our Polish Protoss player.
That he is. And, PvP. We're, for anyone casting ESL, DreamHack Masters NA, anyone covering Group A, you're going to get to see a lot of PvP. Unfortunately, we missed out on that today. We just have to cast, Special and Kelazur in Latin America. We missed out on those 6 Protoss players in that Group A. But in all seriousness, I actually really enjoy casting PvP. I think it's a really fun matchup. There's a lot of nuance to it. Max Packs has really mixed things up with the meta. What are your thoughts on PvP?
I think it's much maligned, especially if you watched StarCraft over the years. I think a lot of people are sort of numb at this point to all mirror matchups, and especially PvP, where you've seen bad times in StarCraft 2's history. And, I'm the first to admit, there have been some bad times in StarCraft 2's history with PvP Steadfast. But I don't think that's the case anymore. And you can argue with me maybe a little bit here, but I think StarCraft 2 is probably in one of the healthiest balance places it's ever been. And all 3 mirror matchups have the potential, I'm not going to say they're always good, but they have the potential to be really nice, even fights.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you actually on that. The only one that's maybe a little bit, honestly, it does depend a lot on the players, but ZVZ can be an amazing, highly technical matchup, or it can be a little bit of a bumpy road. But once again, that depends entirely on the players and how they play. For me, if it's Roach versus Roach, that's not as interesting. But if you have like Ling Bane, you have Mutas being mixed in, you have weird Carapace builds, there can be a lot of really fun stuff. And hopefully I'll get to do a little bit of a dive on that, as I believe we're covering a ZVZ for, is it match 4? I think we're covering match 4 as a ZVZ. We'll check back up on that in a little bit. But, to start things off for this game, let's talk a little bit about what's happening. We've got a Stalker Sentry opening from ShaDoWn, which is, of course, a very defensive opening, very information-based opening, whereas Krystianer has gone for 4 Stalkers here. And he's going to be looking to put some pressure on in ShaDoWn. He's going to be looking to hold this base.
Man, no surprises at all. If you had asked me what was going to happen before this match, Steadfast, I would have said, well, chances are Krystianer's a young, hot player. He likes to be really aggressive, and that's probably what he's going to go for. And look, he's already got a forward pylon set up. His Blink research already finished. He's adding on additional gates back home. This is going to be some really serious Blink Stalker pressure immediately scouted by ShaDoWn. And ShaDoWn, of course, has that natural down. Just going to try and defend from here on out. The Sentry's going to pay off handsomely for him, but already that shield battery taking a lot of damage, both shields and health. Nice save there by Krystianer on his Stalkers, but this is going to get really interesting really fast, Steadfast.
No kidding. The robotics facility is the perfect response for ShaDoWn, including that extra gateway and an extra shield battery. But yeah, he is in a very, very dicey scenario. There's going to be some incredible pressure coming his way. And this is a little bit of a throwback build to, like, very, very early. 4-gate Blink Stalker off of 1 base. Ooh, nice force field right there. Will he be able to catch a Stalker? Yes, he will. That's pretty good.
I feel like I'm watching a creator game with, I just need a Warp Prism now, and that'd be full creator, just Blink Stalkers, 1 Warp Prism, and nothing else. But you're right now ShaDoWn trading very, very effectively. 3 Stalkers trading out for just 1 Sentry if you open that battle report, and that's a great start here. ShaDoWn wants to slice down as many Stalkers as he possibly can, so that Krystianer cannot get critical mass to dive on top of a shield battery that's overcharged right now.
Yeah, and, as it is, only 1 Stalker goes down, Blink is on cooldown, and now that Immortal's out. And that is what ShaDoWn is looking for to make this defense happen. And I gotta say, this feels really, really good for ShaDoWn. He's still, of course, not out of the woods yet, but that Immortal is such a linchpin of this defense. And he's already chronoing at the second Immortal. First Immortal hasn't even had its barrier popped and put on cooldown, so Krystianer, he can't just abandon this plan. He needs to get damage done.
He's got no natural. He's got no tech. He's got no no Tiki, no Shirty, no nothing behind this Steadfast. It's ridiculous. There's the second Immortal, and with both shield batteries still alive here, even picking off a couple of Stalkers there for, or one Stalker there for Krystianer, he still trades evenly, and that's just not good enough. I don't like the shield battery positionings that ShaDoWn has chosen. One of those shield batteries very, very far back, and you can see that some of his Stalkers haven't been taken out. He does get one Immortal there. Second Immortal, though, second Immortal gone as well. It's actually good dive. No, yeah, just one Immortal down for Krystianer. It's a good dive there, but without getting both Immortals, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, he took down 3 Stalkers and an Immortal for 5 Stalkers of his own. Yeah. That is good because ShaDoWn did not start up a third Immortal as quickly as he could have. He could have had it out by now. Right. But this is still very, very good. I don't think ShaDoWn is expecting Krystianer to still be on one base. I would assume that he thinks that his opponent has continued to expand because he did probe up fair bit. He added on quite a few more probes. He's up 13 workers right now. So if he literally just continues to build units, he is totally fine. And he's so far ahead in supply right now. Oh, I don't think your mic is coming through.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just muted myself to cough. Sorry. Yeah, I think ShaDoWn actually might have an inkling as to what's going on. See this forward pylon. He's seen the massive number of Stalkers out from Krystianer, and he's being so aggressive here. One Immortal is going to get picked off here, but he's going to take the fight because he knows as he continues to shave down Immortals, Krystianer's chances of winning this game get shaved down. GG, and ShaDoWn is going to grab game number 1.
Yeah. Honestly, really, really solid defense right there, looking very, very tight, very crisp, and really giving no openings to Krystianer. And, I mean, we just got a perfect example of why we don't often see that 4K Blink Stalker build. Now, of course, the very, very early scout from ShaDoWn put him on the correct tech path. He got that very quick robo, chronoed out the Immortals, had that double shield battery at the natural, and yeah, it never really felt like he was ever in danger of losing.
No, that scout timing was so critical, as you pointed out. That hallucinated Phoenix making a massive difference. Look, if you see the exact timing that an opponent drops their 3rd and 4th bases, at this level of play, you know exactly what the build is going to be. And I think even into the later stages of the game there, I suspect that ShaDoWn had a strong idea that Krystianer was going for that one base, blink all in, with nothing else behind it. So a really nice read there by ShaDoWn, and I think a bit surprising. Krystianer probably the favored player in this matchup, just because he's been on such a meteoric rise the last couple months.
Yeah, no kidding. It has been a really, really solid, like you said, solid rise. But you got to be careful too. You can't just go willy-nilly and do whatever and kind of see what happens. And that's what it felt like a little bit. Is that it was just kind of a, well, we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna try, and it's, yep, we'll see if it works. If it does, great. If not, eh.
Yeah, Krystianer's not a player who is gonna be shaken up. Not a player who's gonna be shaken up by a lot. That's fast. He knows how to take those L's. I think he's gonna bounce back here on map number 2, Juggernaut LE, a nice big open map. Not only is it great for macro, but it's also plenty of places to hide. Lots of sneaky stuff. As we jump into Juggernaut for map 2, Steadfast, what's your over-under on both players proxying their tier 2 tech this game?
Ooh. I'd give 3-1. I would say
that it's gonna happen.
3-1 against. Yeah. I always forget how odds actually work.
I'm gonna say 50-50, but we'll find out when we hop on to Juggernaut LE map number 2.
That we will, spawning up in the top right position. It is the blue Protoss player. Give it up for the Frenchman ShaDoWn. Up 1-0, looking solid.
Really good hold last game. Picturesque. Textbook. And on the bottom left-hand side here in the red, Tryons. Cheeky aggression, but not quite making it work. It is our red Protoss player representing Poland and Blazer Esports. It's Krystianer.
And, well, we're going to be seeing neither player opening up Forge here, which is actually notable, as Juggernaut is a map where cannon rushes are an option. But for the most part, they have kind of been figured out. So you put the pylon right here. You can't get the cannons blocked. Basically, it's a guarantee that those cannons get up. But players have just kind of started going super, super fast Stargate if they ever get cannon rush. So we won't see it in this game.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's it's tough in PvP these days to pull off a cannon rush. I feel like I see it so little. When I first started casting about 4 years ago, a cannon rush was so common in PvP. Just the way the game was balanced at the time, and especially the map pool that we had. But I think that map makers have been very, very specific about the exact topography and the angles and everything to make sure that if you cannon rush, it has got to be flawlessly executed and cannot be just a cheesy sort of throw it at the wall and see what sticks sort of thing anymore. I kid you not, Steadfast. I've been in the Mappers Discord before, and I've heard him complain about, I don't know if you're on my camera or on yours, but I've heard him complain about like some of these vertexes in the main base that like stick out a little bit. They've been like, oh, I don't know why Blizzard changed one of these by one hex because the whole map is wrong now, and they'll about little stuff like that. So these maps have been precision engineered for sure.
Oh, fair enough. That's something I wouldn't have thought about, but it does mean that like SOS, for example, will cannon rush you there. If there's a spot where he can drop 3 pylons and a cannon fits behind it, you have to assume that he is going to cannon rush someone at some point with that.
100%.
And, well, as we move into this game, we're going to be seeing a very heavy adept play out of Krystianer and ShaDoWn. He's going to be going for quad stalkers. This is a really, really nice build order situation for ShaDoWn. Not a huge, massive, crazy advantage, but it's a notable advantage.
Yeah, just a little bit. You want to tell people why that's so big, Steadfast?
Well, those adepts are going to be making their way across the map. We're probably going to see Krystianer go up to as many as maybe 8 adepts. But he's going to be looking to get something done with this, looking to get some probes. And against that, you want the fightiest units that you have in the Protoss arsenal, and that is going to be Stalkers. 4 Stalkers are your best possible fighting option for the early game. Stalker Sentry is, of course, very, very good, but yeah, you got to be careful. When you have a lot of sentries, they can definitely get kind of picked away at. And we're actually going to be seeing the Stalkers moving across the map here, looking to pick off this pylon.
Turn my gain up just a little bit here, Steadfast, on my mic. I know chat's saying it's still a little quiet. By the way, hello, chat. It's good to see you guys. Steadfast and I, obviously on a 3-minute delay to preserve competitive integrity here. But we'll say hi when we can. Adept's going to grab a ton of these Stalkers here, and this actually looks really nice for Krystianer. Going to get at least one of these Stalkers, if not the second one, as the retreat goes through from ShaDoWn. Not what ShaDoWn was looking for. Why did he dive so deep into the natural there, Steadfast?
The picking off the pylon, totally fine. Checking up the ramp, not fine at all. No, now that's a great little split right there. But he will still lose this Stalker, and that is actually really bad. He's going to lose 2 Stalkers here to these Adepts, and that's going to make dealing with this follow-up move from Krystianer much more difficult. Now, it doesn't mean that, he's going to lose the game, but it will be a little bit more difficult. What are we seeing on the other side of the map? Is that double Adept from ShaDoWn? Yes, it is. Well, this is quite bold right here, and it's going to pick off 2 probes. And, well, that's not bad at all. This looks like there's a gap in the wall, but there is not. That is so deceiving visually.
Some of those Protoss buildings, it's always tough to tell. It's I always say that StarCraft's affordances are really, really great. One of the best games in the world for affordances, but the building artwork does leave a little bit to be desired if you can't tell if you're completely walled off or not. But this is the aggression that you talked about at the beginning of the game, Steadfast, which is that these Adepts are going to try and get in and continually pin down ShaDoWn. They're going to go straight for the Adept and then try and grab probes on the backside of this. He's going to lose a few Adepts, sure, but trading out for the probes to keep the worker count even and keep ShaDoWn back on 2 bases is a really, really nice trade for Krystianer, who gets out alive with, look at that, 3 Adepts and gets 1 probe on the far kill.
Yeah, that's a random probe. I don't know what it was doing there. But we do have a really nice little situation here for Krystianer in that he picked off that sentry. Being able to deny scouting is really good, but this is a very, very dangerous moment for Krystianer. Oh, I love this. He hallucinates an Immortal to help deal with what is going to be some Blink Stalker aggression out of ShaDoWn.
That's really sharp, man. The Hallucinated Immortal is such a nice play. Not only does it fake your opponent and think they may have misscouted you, but also it takes a lot of their DPS out of the initial picture. Whoa, again, those probes queued way out to try and get away from the Adepts, and the Adept Shade on top of them. There are three Adept kills, or 3 probe kills by those Adepts. Very nicely done by Krystianer. But yeah, that Hallucinated Immortal is really cute. Again, fakes your opponent to think they may have misread your build order, and also focuses the fire and lowers their DPS overall. Really nice play there from Krystianer to stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I don't even think ShaDoWn figured out that it was hallucinated. I think he thought it was a real immortal, and he's just like, well, okay, I guess I can't push in here. And so a little bit of a bluff, and it actually does work out for him quite well. Now, one thing that is a big advantage for ShaDoWn in this game: +1 attack. Quite far. Well, it's already decently far along. Of course, he has that blink done already. And Krystianer just now starting up that forge. ShaDoWn, 3rd Nexus on the way. So even though he's taken some damage from those Adepts, he's still doing pretty well. Looks like he's going to pick off a Stalker of his opponent as well, utilizing that blink. And that's what you want to do in this situation. You don't overcommit, but just find advantages where you can.
Great stuff here, using his micro to the best of his ability. He's going to snipe this shield battery, get the pylon as well, and wow, dives a little bit deeper than I would have thought there, going a little bit more aggressive, and does have to blink away there. Luckily makes it out with all but one of his stalkers here, and there's one man left behind. Oh boy. This stalker going to distract as well, but oh my god, are these stalkers running interference as well? Steadfast, this is beautiful play from ShaDoWn right now. He left that stalker behind and is making the most of it.
Yeah, he actually... Oh, my God. He can't get away with this. He can't keep getting away with it. It kills one probe? 2 probe? It kills 1 probe and sneaks away. Absolute... That was like a Saving Private Ryan thing. That was incredible right there.
That's absolutely correct. This stalker getting on the last helicopter out of Vietnam. Tom Hanks is not leaving him behind. That is beautiful stuff. Steadfast, I've never seen Saving Private Ryan, but I know so much about it that I can still keep up with your references at the very worst.
Absolutely.
Not like my other co-caster on the B Stream, Grant, who never watches any of the movies that I recommend that he watches.
How rude. Imagine that.
I have recommended the movie The Hunt for Red October to Grant probably 10 times live on air, and he still hasn't seen it, Steadfast.
That's actually a great movie, too.
Incredible.
Sean Connery, such a versatile actor.
So good. I can't believe it. I'm a little offended at this point. By the way, Dark Templar has been spotted, by the way, by ShaDoWn. He's not seen the Dark Shrine yet, but he did see the little shimmer of the Dark Templar when his Zealots were over here by the forward pylon. So he now knows that that's a very real possibility. Photon Cannon's going down immediately for that static detection in his 3rd base. Archon's getting morphed in as well, and we see Krystianer moving into position here for some pressure on the triangle 3rd base of his opponent. This game's still very, very close. Anybody could come away with this one, Steadfast.
Yeah, no kidding. But, I mean, ShaDoWn was starting to kind of run away with it, but these DTs finding a lot of damage right here. They're going to kill off 10 probes. Oh, and 9 probes, and then the arm... Wow, that was a charge and a half right there. Jeez.
Yeah.
A lot of probes going down right there. And, well, ShaDoWn does still have a big lead in that +2 timing, which is a big deal. But he's down 14 workers, and the supplies have him in the lead. That means he's got a 24 army supply lead. This is a frightening situation. There is charge for ShaDoWn, no charge for Krystianer. I don't know how Krystianer holds right now, actually.
It's going to be a really tough one, but of course fighting into his shield. An overcharged shield battery is really great. Going to force the aggressive blink out of ShaDoWn to pick down the shield battery first and foremost. The Zealots from Krystianer actually doing an awful lot to equalize the army supply. The Archon for ShaDoWn a little behind fight, and it looks like Krystianer will hold with the Immortal and this lot of charged Zealots in the backside, actually keeping him alive a lot longer than he should have. That was a disastrous fight for ShaDoWn, fighting into an overcharged shield battery with no real ground army aside from no real splash damage, just those Stalkers and Zealots.
Yeah, I think his War Prism got sniped very early on in that fight. I missed it, but he had a War Prism going there, and then it just all of a sudden wasn't there. And despite the fact that he has this big +2 upgrade timing lead in theory, it hasn't been realized. That was +1 versus +1. And as you said, the battery overcharge helping a lot. There was those 2 Immortals on the left side, which I did not really notice until they just kind of chonked down every Stalker that ShaDoWn had. And, well, ShaDoWn, he throws away a big army supply lead right there. And he has not really rebuilt his probe count effectively. He is just behind now.
Yeah, straight up just behind. I mean, look at the worker count here. Yeah, it looks sort of a little bit closer to even Krystianer 57, but the income graph really shows you the whole story, which is that Krystianer's had a significant lead before that, and now that he comes back, he's going to be in a really nice spot. That defense from Krystianer, so clutch. The power of Immortals in the background, and more importantly, Steadfast, the power of army positioning, especially in a PvP, a mirror matchup.
Yeah, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That was excellent positioning out of Krystianer. And I said, I don't know how he's going to hold on. Well, that's exactly how, is with those Immortals kind of tucked away to the side, the snipe on the War Prism, the battery overcharge on the very far back shield battery, which made ShaDoWn kind of needlessly, like, he could have waited that battery overcharge out, I think, because time was actually on his side, even though he was down workers. If he had just waited for the +2 attack at that point and kind of rotated around while he was waiting for that and continued to warp in units, I think we're probably looking at a 2-0 at this moment. But that being said, he is still very much in a competitive state in this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. This game far from over, and as soon as you hear either Steadfast or GG, you can revoke our caster licenses and tell us to go back and take the esports exam, the certification
Oh,
all over
God.
again. Because let me tell you, man, this game's still absolutely anybody's here. A good hold by Krystianer, but not quite the end of the game. 4 bases for both players now. Worker counts evened up. 2-2 finished up. 3-3 now. Pardon me. Let me start over. +2 finished up for both players. +3 on the way for ShaDoWn, whereas it's +1 armor out for Krystianer, who's getting a Warp Prism, indicating it's his turn to be a little aggressive in the future.
Yeah, something that's kind of neat that is sneaking its way into the meta, by which I mean there's only one player doing it, and I really want it to make its way into the meta, is a double forge. Skillus has started going double forge in PvP, and at first I was like, Skillus, you idiot, why are you doing that? That's so dumb. Who gets armor? And then I watched it in action, and I was like, oh, that's why. And it looked so insanely good, specifically against late game sky toss transitions, because those void rays, because those carriers, they have such high upgrades, have such a high impact on them. So if you have +3 armored and +2 shields on your stalkers, you do so well against sky toss, so much better than I ever would have expected. And it also means that on the ground, you just beat the crap out of your opponent's other units.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one player who's doing it. I've seen Art doing it an awful lot as well, just sticking to his, I was gonna say sticking to his guns, but he's not a Terran player. You get the drift. Very tough fight here for Krystianer. He doesn't want to fight up this ramp. That's a guarantee that you're gonna have a bad time. And speaking of bad time, that Disruptor getting a nice 10 kill purification over. That's gonna be a good start to the fight for ShaDoWn, but I don't know if he's got enough in the tank to finish this off.
That is a big question mark right here. There's so many Archons for Krystianer, and because of where they're fighting, those Archons getting a lot of value, but the battery overcharge helping a lot as well. Second Disruptor is going to show up. It needs to have a big shot. Oh, but the splits from Krystianer are fantastic. And now he's going to blink forward, and that's going to be it. GG is called. Very well played out of Krystianer right there. I thought ShaDoWn might have actually been able to hold off the back of that. But
Very tough. I think Steadfast, it comes back to positioning for the second fight in a row. Fairly even fight, upgrades fairly even, and just those Archons in the back not doing anything. If you notice when the Zealot lines were, Krystianer's Zealots had a really nice, and all of ShaDoWn's Zealots were sort of derping around in the background, not able to the surface area. A huge difference in the fight, really brought on by those little tiny changes that happened with the army positioning. A really tough fight for ShaDoWn. He's definitely going to be in that game, watching the replay and wondering what's going on. But before we get into the next match, Steadfast, we need to take a very short break and thank the sponsors who make ESL possible. You think you can hook us up with about a 3-minute break, Steadfast?
absolutely, 3 minutes on the clock. We will be back after that.
See you.
Hello, everyone. We are back once again with the DreamHack Masters. We got the charming, handsome, charismatic Creighton Olsen there, blowing kisses to the camera, as I know you all were yammering for.
I mean, look, Steadfast. I started my career mugging at a camera, doing stupid shit, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to end my career mugging at the camera, doing stupid shit.
I think that's the way to go. I think you're missing out if you're not doing that.
It's much easier than anything else.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say easier. It requires a very specific skill set. I definitely don't talk down on that. That's a very important, noble thing you're doing.
That's why my OnlyFans account is so strong, fast. That's where a huge portion of my income comes from, for sure.
Of course, of course.
We're in our second game 3 of the day, Steadfast, and I could not be more excited. Our first 2 series have been so evenly matched, and Krystianer ShaDoWn going into game 3 is just like a Christmas dream come true early here in May. Again, I think you asked me who I thought might win. I said it was a 50-50. I think I still hold that to be true. Either player could come out of this alive.
Oh, 100%. 100%. This is very up in the air right now. Romanticide, a pretty interesting map, one of the oldest maps in the pool at this point. Of course, it did not get cycled out, and nothing really crazy about it, but I am still there is still some important aspects of this map that are very, very interesting and allow it to be sometimes a very epic map in PvP.
Yeah. Well, let's hop on in and introduce our 2 players here on Romanticide LE to see who walks away with a match win.
Absolutely. Spawning down in the bottom right, representing France, it is the blue Protoss player, ShaDoWn. Oh.
I was almost very rude. You said representing it. I was about to say no one, but then I forgot. Even if he's teamless, he still has a country to represent. Like, come on. And his opponent up in the top left-hand side in the red, representing Blazer Esports and another one of those powerhouse countries we talked about last match. It is Krystianer from Poland.
Yes, it is. And, well, this is one of those maps that I feel like has produced the most epic PvPs on this in the last few months, at least for me, that I've seen.
Yeah.
Because things okay, so you have your timings. You can go for like 2 base timings, sometimes 3 base timings, but you usually don't see that. Usually it stabilizes wow stabilizes on 3 bases, and that means you oftentimes take a 4th base as well. And then things can get very, very weird because the maps, you kind of start expanding counterclockwise away from each other. You can end up with this situation where sometimes weird, funky base trades happen, and there's so much space for stuff like Blink DTs and just really, really high impact late game units to get in and cause a lot of problems. Things turn very chaotic very quickly once you get up to 5-6 bases.
Oh, no question. And good players like this, the players that have, I was going to say thousands, hundreds of APM and plenty to spare, they're not going to be afraid to do little DT run-bys, to do little Blink Stalker movements, to take advantage of the fact this map does get so spread out, that 5th and 6th base, so awkwardly placed sometimes. That like this high ground inside 12 o'clock base that I'm looking at, just a real bear to hold on to in the late game. If this goes to the long game, this is going to be a fascinating fireworks show. But I'll be honest, Steadfast, it's Krystianer. I'd be very surprised if this game went super, super long.
Yeah, he one of the things he was kind of a little bit known for. By the way, we do see a pylon being built here to check what the first 2 units are. Does lose that probe, which is a little bit unfortunate. But, I mean, you're expected to probably lose it anyways. That being said, Krystianer keeps his probe alive. So good job for them. But, yeah, something that we saw him kind of do initially is he was a big fan. Oh, did he get the spot? Of the Resonating Glaives 7-gate off of 2 bases. Oh, that's pretty nice. He sees that Nexus. That's a nice little informational advantage he has over ShaDoWn.
Yeah, that's great. You see the expansion. Of course, he's expanding on his own as well behind this, right behind it, almost the same time. But he's got his Stargate down as well. So Krystianer cutting a little bit there to make sure that Stargate gets out a little bit earlier. Going for Oracle first, which is no surprise. ShaDoWn better keep those Stalkers in good place. He better spot this Stargate quickly. Otherwise, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. If he's out of position with these Stalkers, he could get a cancel on the low ground CC, or the low ground Nexus rather. But if he doesn't see that Oracle coming across, he's going to lose an awful lot of probes behind this. This could get ugly very fast.
Yeah, no kidding. And, well, nice little exchange favoring ShaDoWn a fair bit right here.
Ooh.
Oh, he actually picks off 2 Stalkers for just 1 right there. And now he's going to be slow warping in these Stalkers. Oh, did he spot this Oracle? Yes, he does. And, well, this is getting very dangerous. Oh, that one Stalker just barely surviving. ShaDoWn needs to pull back that additional Stalker. Both players microing so precisely, and I think this should be a dead Nexus right here. And there is a shield battery in the main base, but nothing in the natural.
Man, I love this. Both players, seeing the other players being hyper aggressive. They're both, well, cowabunga it is then, and they're going nuts. Oh my god, ShaDoWn pulled the probes away, but not quite in time. A healthy chunk, 11 or 12 of them get caught in the stasis ward, but that's a stasis ward. That is not a death ray at all, Steadfast. They're going to stay alive, but Krystianer's natural nexus, 8.
Yeah, and that's very, very important. Now, if ShaDoWn could have kept that sentry hidden, or gotten that a little bit quicker, he potentially could have trapped like 3 or 4 units right there. Meanwhile, we do have this Oracle actually coming in, picks up 6 kills, and there's the death ray right there. But even with that, that is not enough to equalize the death of a Nexus. That is still so much better for ShaDoWn.
I love that the Oracle went full. I know I just referenced something earlier, Steadfast. I try not to rely too much on topical references. But did you ever watch Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so I feel like that Oracle did exactly what Dr. Horrible did, where he had a freeze ray with his stasis ward, and he just like wrote death ray with some masking tape and stuck it over the top, and he was like, there, fixed it. And now he's killing even more of those probes. Unreal.
Yeah, this is really nice, but once again, he needs to find a lot more than he has. He still found down 5 workers and a base. And, well, it is going to come down to this Dark Shrine, which I don't think ShaDoWn scouted. No, he didn't.
No, doesn't see that Dark Shrine, which is a huge win for Krystianer, keeping that a little bit secret, keeping a little bit safe like the ring at Bag End. There's, of course, no detection in the main base of ShaDoWn. He's got the Robo Facility down, which is great, but look at the pylon placements right now, Steadfast. There's only one pylon supporting it. If a DT sneaks in, takes down that pylon, which I think is out of range of the shield battery, and there's no Oracle out, or no Observer out, he could be in trouble. But, oh, thank goodness. There's the Observer from ShaDoWn, playing it very safe.
Yeah, for the most part, unless you're doing some kind of crazy timing, you're not going to, or you're getting all in.
Right.
If it's a timing, of course, you'll get that War Prism. If you're getting super all in, you'll get the Immortal. But in any other circumstance, you should be going for that very quick Observer. And as a result of that, this DT tech should not really get very much done, if anything.
Yeah, interesting choice here. ShaDoWn moving out across the map right now. There's no supporting pylon anymore. Of course, he does not have a Warp Prism. He should be working on one quite soon, I think. But only 12 Stalkers right now. Going to try and pressure Krystianer's third base and maybe pull ahead economically. Yet again, Krystianer way out of position here and slow to respond. Looks like he's just going to sack that third base. Krystianer, hello? Hello? Way late to respond.
Yeah, I think he just knows that he can't do anything about it. And, well, he will prevent these Adepts from getting into the natural. But that was a... Oh, my... Okay, no. That Nexus that died was from earlier. Yeah, that's a cancel. Yeah. Meanwhile, Krystianer. Oh, is he going to be able to get the Stasis Ward? Oh, just barely getting those Stalkers warped in time. Wow, that was really close.
Yeah, DTs, of course, while he was distracted, the DTs moving up into the main base, and we'll see what they can do. One slipping back behind the main mineral line, the other... Here we go, zip zop, zoobity bop. These ISBs, the invisible swipey boys, getting done what they can. 6 probe kills so far. Steadfast, is 7 enough? Is 8 enough?
8 is not enough, unfortunately. It is. This is still going to be... Oh, he's going to recall, but will he get on out? No, he gets taken down. Now, this is nice damage at the third. Finds another 3, and that actually will bring the probe count back to equal. But it is important to note that... Krystianer. Man, that's a James Bond DT right there. He actually snuck right around everything. ShaDoWn making some pretty big mistakes right here. Letting that slip back in. But yeah, no, this is still a situation where Krystianer is very, very far behind in army supply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Steadfast. Always a huge mistake when you let it slip back in after it's already out. Once it's out, you got to leave it out the whole time. Oracle comes back in from Krystianer and ShaDoWn again with his fly open, losing a number of probes. 4, make it 5 maybe even, draining some energy on the shield battery. Yes, ShaDoWn picked off the forward gateway, and that's cute, but look, Krystianer's probe's still alive, Steadfast. He's going to be able to drop another pylon here and keep this harassment going. Krystianer being so aggressive, and I'm loving it. Of course, he has to be, because he's only on 2 bases to the 3 of his opponent.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. Looks like those adepts did slip in, but they were not able to find. Yeah, they weren't able to find anything. So they just died.
Krystianer back at his base.
Yeah, which is nice because ShaDoWn, he's like you said, he's on 3 bases, and even though he's lost a lot of workers, he's rebuilt them very quickly, and he's back up to being 14 workers ahead again. I do not see a way back into this game for Krystianer right now.
You know, be careful what you wish for there, Steadfast. We said that last game, and ShaDoWn took just an atrocious fight in Krystianer's base. But of course, that game, Krystianer a little more even than he was this time. He's got the one weird Void Ray from the very beginning of the game that hasn't left his base at all yet. I just feel like Krystianer not playing quite as focused, not quite as polished as we're used to from our young Protoss player. Because Krystianer's like, what, 19 years old? He's so young.
Yeah, he is a youngin', and this is the first day of groups, so we're expecting to see probably a fair bit of nerves as you settle into things.
17 years old, sorry.
Oh, wow. Wow, he is just a spring chicken, as it were. And Hallucinated Disruptor was there. I was like, wow, how is there a disruptor here? It's because it's a hallucination. That was a fake disruptor that was just chilling there.
Jeez, that's ridiculous. Third base finally up now for Krystianer, at least halfway, almost finished. But ShaDoWn gonna be posturing, gonna be looking for a 4th base now. Steadfast, why hasn't he taken a 4th base yet? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, why hasn't he taken a 4th base yet? There's his 4th base. Do you think it's worth it at this point to grab the 4th base, or do you think he should sit back on 3 and just build up for an army and go for a timing?
I think you do both. I think you get that 4th base and you still get ready to be aggressive. It's definitely what you want to be doing. Krystianer, he is slow playing this extremely hard. He has just now retaken that 3rd base. Just now. And, I mean, let's take a look at the income graph. Massive advantage for ShaDoWn over the last several minutes. And now he is going to try and push on in here as charge finishes up. He wants to make sure he doesn't fight without +2, but in this case, it would be +1 versus +0, so... yeah, it wouldn't be the end of the world if he took this fight. And, I mean, if he does wait for +2, which he most certainly should, it's going to be a massive advantage.
Oh, man. +2 going to finish up here in 8 seconds. And I can already see him fighting up that ramp, try and get as much damage done as he can. He has, of course, clicked on Krystianer's units and seen that it is almost that he's up against an unupgraded army, which means that pushing up with +1 is still just fine when you're pushing against a +0 army. He's going to rotate around so he doesn't have to fight up a ramp, but there's no sentry energy left from Krystianer here, not even for a Guardian Shield, I don't think. And it's just going to be like pure Blink Stalker. Maybe some disruptors can pop out here from Krystianer, but best case for ShaDoWn is that he hops on top of those disruptors as soon as they pop out and doesn't let them even live very long, which I think he's going to do. As soon as they pop out, these Stalkers should take him out.
Yeah, they kind of have to, actually, but they're not going for it. Oh, and it ends up being a blink away, but it doesn't even matter. There's just too much here, and that's going to be it. GG is called.